thought it went well. I wanted to thank them for bringing me in and, just trying to showcase what I could do.
What was the toughest part of the workout?
I'd probably say the toughest part of the workout for me was probably the shooting. My whole life, I've been the farthest I've been away, shooting's probably free throws. So, the three's a little further, but it went all right.
Have you worked out for any other teams?
This is my second workout. I worked out with Dallas last week.
Was there a big difference between this workout and the one in Dallas?
Yeah. It was just me and Matt and I today. When I was in Dallas, there were 6 of us. So it was a little more testing, layups, and 3-on-3.
What would you say is your biggest strength as a basketball player?
I think my biggest strength as a basketball player is just making my teammates better. Just not scoring. If it's scoring, if it's passing, if it's setting screens, rebounding. I got to improve on all those areas, but I think that's my biggest strength.
Is there a single skill that you could pinpoint that will translate best to the NBA game?
I would just probably say my size. One thing, in college, a lot of times, I'm guarding guys who, they play the 5 in college, but then when they get to the league, or if they have the chance to get to the league, they're 3 or 4 men. So hopefully, if I have the chance to make it to go against guys, more my size.
Byron is a defensive-minded coach. What's your biggest strength defensively?
I would probably say my biggest strength defensively is, I'd probably have to say post defense. I still need to work on rebounding and get it out shown on the screens, but, it's all a process.
What do you think was the difference between your time at UCLA and Georgetown?
Just overall.
Yeah.
UCLA, my freshman year went well. And then after that, I thought I could just turn it on, not put the work in. And obviously, that translated in, my sophomore season and the 6 games I played before that. And Georgetown was kind of the same thing. I got there, kind of got comfortable, became academically ineligible. I was really embarrassed. I was embarrassed for myself, embarrassed for my family, because I'm not a dumb guy. I just didn't go to class. And my senior year, I just wanted to go out, compete, and leave it all out there.
Is that part of the reason why you left UCLA as far as those personal reasons?
Yeah, it was more so that, I just felt like the way the team was going and just kind of my role on the team, I could go somewhere else and have a bigger role. I thanked UCLA for all the opportunities they gave me. I thank Coach Allen for, giving me the opportunity. Love my teammates. I still stay in contact with Jordan, Kyle, Tyler Honeycutt, Jeremy Anderson, guys like that. So, I just thank them for everything and just decided, how to go somewhere else.
What do you think you've learned from all those experiences and circumstances?
Just maturity. Just obviously, coming out of high school, my college career didn't go the way that I planned. But, you kind of, everything that happens for a reason, and you learn from it. And, hopefully you just, with me, I just learn from it and try to mature and try to get better every day.
Your head coach at Georgetown said that you probably have some of the best instincts and physical tools to any big man he's ever coached. And he's coached guys like Roy Hibbert, Greg Monroe. It's a pretty big compliment. Is there anything that has been holding you back? Is it just that hard work that you were talking about?
Hard work and effort. Because one thing with Coach Thompson is, it's just about being reliable. And, he always, he believes in all of us. And I'll bring up an example. I remember we played at Marquette. I think I had 18 and 15. I think that was the highest career rebounding I had. And, he kind of looked at me and said, hey, you can do this every game. I don't care, what everybody says. It's all effort. I'm not going to, it's not like we have to run you to death. We have to, do anything. It's all effort. If you try, you can do it. So it was more so effort, just going out there and just trying to apply myself, because rebounding is just really effort.
Are you coming to find then that with these workouts and interviewing with teams and talking to coaches that's maybe the biggest concern they have about you?
Yeah, I know the stigma about me, and my thing is I'm just trying to change it. I know that in my college career, lazy, hunger, doesn't really want it, and what I'm trying to do now is just progress every day, just trying to work hard and just trying to change that stigma. So.
Byron runs the Princeton offense, and I'm not sure if Coach Thompson continues to run it. I know he did for a long time. Does he, and will that help you if, in fact, you were to make this team?
Yeah, we still run it, and if I had the opportunity to make this team, I feel like it would translate easier for me just because, I've been running it for the last 2.5 years, and I know the chin set, I know the black, I know forwards out. We've been running it every game, every possession, so I'm used to it.
You're used to it. A lot of guys come in here and aren't used to it. What's the most difficult part of picking up the Princeton offense?
I'd probably just say all the different reads out of it, because when I first got to Georgetown, you have black, chin, forwards out. So then I got the base of it, but then it's like counters. If you catch it on the high post, you can dribble somebody backdoor. The other guys, there's just a lot of movement. So with me, it was just learning all the counters, learning all, the spots, all 5 spots on the floor, just to know if I catch it on the high post, if somebody cuts, I can hit him with a pass or go set a screen, and there's a double away. So.
Did you give much thought to what it would be like to playing with Kobe Bryant if things worked out?
I mean, I would love to play with Kobe, and it's actually funny. My little brother is the biggest Kobe fan I think there is, and he was telling me that if he was down there, say what's up. Obviously not here, but I mean, Kobe's one of the greatest players of all time, and it would be a blessing to play with him.